What's going on, everybody? This is the Post Game Report. I am JVB. So, how are you guys doing? Well, let me give you guys a little update as to what's been going on. My son is in college. Officially, he is in college. He goes to Williams College in Massachusetts, and they had a very strict lockdown procedure or rules, whatever you want to call them. He had to be quarantined until he passed 2 COVID tests. Thankfully, he did. And now he is able to roam around most of the college, and the town surrounding the college is very small. It has a population of under 3,000. So the town, Williamstown, they didn't even want students to be at the college. So one of the compromises they came up with was that the college students, that is, would be allowed to roam one particular street within the town. When we visited, we had we had everything packed in the car. When we got there, my son had to get out. We had to give him a quick hug. As we're giving him a hug, there was a bunch of people taking stuff out of the car and putting it into a minivan that was going to go to his dorm. It would be stored in a tent as my son is getting tested. We had to hug him and leave. We couldn't even help him take his stuff upstairs. We couldn't wait till he was done with the test. We had to leave the premises immediately. And so, as you know, like leading up to, actually, the month leading up to his first day at school, it was really challenging because I had to fight with the idea, and so did my wife, that our son was going to be away. Now, the thing about his college is that if he decides to come home for Thanksgiving, he cannot go back until the end of the semester or the beginning of the next semester. So he'll do remote learning once the holidays or Thanksgiving is over with. So at first he didn't want to go, but we talked him into it. We were like, look, just go for the experience. You're going to get 2-3 months of college experience living in a dorm. And at the end of the day, you can say that you went to college during this whole mess. Like, you can brag about going through an unusual college experience. And then when things hopefully get back to normal and he can go back to school physically, then he's already adjusted. And so are we, because we're still getting accustomed to it. Like, I'll find myself going to his room to check up on him, and he's not there. But thankfully, with technology, we can FaceTime him. So we've been doing that every day. And I even helped him via FaceTime with his bike. So thank God for this type of technology, new ways of communication and staying in touch. And so it's really helped. It's really helped. And eventually I'm going to use his room for the 3 months he's away as a little studio. I'm just struggling right now because with my head injury, I'm starting to realize that I'm going through phases. There are moments where I am super like productive. I'm hyped and I'm excited to do things, and I'm doing them immediately as soon as they hit my thought process. And then there are moments like now where it's a struggle to hit the record button. Like, it took me a few days to just sit down and start recording something. So what you're hearing now is just me talking without any script, which is basically what I do all the time. But it's something that I need to do in order to keep myself sane, like literally. It's therapeutic, and I've said this before. And I recently went for a reevaluation, and basically they told me, the doctor, he said, look, do not drive and listen to music. Do not cook and walk away. your attention span, your reaction time is really off. So I'm dealing with that right now. Then I was reevaluated by the eye doctor. And my vision at first, when I got when the accident happened, I thought, well, I knew my vision was impaired, meaning that I thought, like, holy shit, my brand new glasses that I purchased, my prescription glasses that cost a lot of money because they're bifocals. And they're the real stylish ones, so you don't even know they're bifocals. You got to look down in order to get a different perspective. And then as the light turns brighter, my shades or my glasses become shades. So really pricey. And I had them maybe a few months before getting injured. Okay, like I don't even think a few months. And when I remember using them after I got hurt and looking at something, and I was like, holy crap, my vision is blurred with my fucking glasses. So this whole time I was dealing with that, thinking, holy crap, my vision is messed up even worse than it was before. And as I stated in a few episodes, I thought my eye popped out when I got hit, and thankfully it didn't. But because of the lockdown, the appointment with the eye doctor was delayed 7 months. So the initial report when I first visited the doctor was that, yeah, I'm dealing with photophobia, which is, any type of brightness messes me up. And my eyes aren't functioning as one. So the second evaluation, which was this week, she reaffirmed that my eyes are still not working together. So that's where, like, basically my glasses, my prescription, haven't changed that much. It's my eyes that are not, and if you're a photographer, you understand kind of the concept that I'm trying to describe right now. If you're manually focusing a lens, that's what's happening. My eyes aren't focusing correctly. So when I'm looking at something from a certain angle, I'm thinking that my vision is messed up, but it's really my eyes aren't aligned correctly. So I'm seeing double, basically. And so if I'm trying to read a paragraph, I'm going to get lost. I'm going to see double the words. Like, not to an extreme level, but it's going to look like my vision is bad. And so I'll put the piece of literature closer or farther, and I'm struggling to find a good angle to read these things. And so that's really messing me up, because I try to read things just so I can keep my mind sharp, but I get lost. So unless the words are really big and spaced out, it's hard. So I can play a video game, for example, and because it's on a big screen and I'm not relying on literature or reading too much, I'm okay. But once I have to read something, and luckily with video games, the lettering is huge because it has to fit a big screen and a resolution. But if I'm reading something on my phone, like, holy crap, I've never scrolled past so much shit. So if somebody's like posting something very informative or opening up emotionally on my social feeds, and I look at it, I'll start reading a little bit, and then I just scroll away because, number one, my attention span is screwed up. So I'll start thinking of shit and I'll start doing stuff, and then all of a sudden I'm distracted and I just either forget what I was going to do or I just ignore it. Now, the other thing that, like, this week's been pretty freaking rough, and for a few reasons, because I had to drive a lot. I'm starting to realize that driving a lot puts a lot of strain on me, like on my brain, literally. And because I'm processing so much information as I'm driving, and then I'm trying to balance the car correctly, I'm trying to react. Like, I literally drive and do not talk to anyone because it's tough to do both. So, driving and then the appointments that I had, both of them were this week. So, the first one was a reevaluation by the neuropsychiatrist, and I had to do these tests. And one of the tests involved flashing lights on the screen. So that gave me a freaking headache as I'm taking this freaking test. And I think that's why I had such poor results. He said I got worse from my first evaluation in March. And then the second one was with the eye doctor, and unfortunately, I had to look at a bright screen and try to look at these little words, these little letters, as a matter of fact, as you would with any eye exam. So there was a lot, and in the weekend, we stood in Massachusetts, where my son is at, and then drove back Monday. And I had little sleep from Sunday to Monday. So I'm realizing that combination of, not getting 8 hours of sleep, because the brain, in order to recover, it needs a lot of rest. And I'm really starting to stray away from that, and I'm losing discipline. And I go to bed late still, like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Some nights I will go to bed 8, 9 o'clock. But I'm starting to realize that I can't be driving for 3, 4 hours. And then I can't be doing these freaking strenuous mind tests, like these mind exercises. Mind, not mine. So I have to really be aware of what I'm going to do week to week. If I know I'm going to drive for a few hours, then I really need to cut down on the activity that I do that requires me to think a lot. And that sounds kind of funny, My wife might say, hey, you really don't think too much anyway, And thankfully, my wife, she's been very supportive, and we joke around a lot. Sometimes I will even, I know she's joking. Sometimes I'll just give her like a real serious answer, and and in my mind, I'm like, dude, relax, So she's been helping me. And I've been doing my own research. And there's a lot of people who deal with TBI, traumatic brain injury. And there's different levels. And honestly, I thought I was making all this shit up in my head. And then I realized that I wasn't the only one. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people dealing with the same thing I'm dealing with now. And because it's a brain injury, no one can see it. And externally, I look fine. The neurologist even said, he goes, I can tell why you feel people don't believe you, because you're able to speak coherently, which I worked hard at, because I was slurring words like hell the first 4 months. I mean, to the point where I was frustrated because I can hear it. Oops, I just hit my microphone. I can hear it. I can feel it, that I was slurring, and it was pissing me off. So I worked hard, and podcasting had a lot to do with that. So the fact that I'm able, and plus during my initial evaluation, when they were testing me, I was able to, here I go forgetting shit. I was able to associate certain words or sentences with my surroundings. So I was lucky that there was like apple, the word apple in one of the sentences. So I was looking at my Apple Watch. And so I would use that to associate with that sentence. So he said, yeah, that's great. That shows that you're still you're still yourself basically. So the whole thing is, yeah, I know I'm not myself. I know things have changed, but in my mind, I'm still trying to be my old self. And I'm starting to realize that I gotta adjust. I'm gonna have to make some life changes and adjust uh, uh, to doing certain things that were like second nature. So it's frustrating, but I think the part that helps is that once you start realizing what you need to do, then that becomes a little easier. Like I refused, I guess, to realize that I was in a situation that was really serious. And because people surrounding me couldn't see it, no one was really aware. Or when I told them, no one really gave it a second thought because I looked okay. I've heard stories of people getting injured and they walk around, they go to work. Same thing I did. I want to work the next day, but it wasn't until I started getting the headaches that I said, you know what, let me report it. And even that, my coworker had to like basically force me to report it. So there are people who go to work for an entire week before but they feel like, all right, I got a little, I got knocked silly. Let me shake it off. And then they find out that they have some real serious issues. And so my vision, like I'll get dizzy if I look a certain way and then look back too quick. Certain angles of my, like moving my eyes a certain way feel really uncomfortable to the point where it hurts. And then, of course, the light. So the eye doctor said my brain is just trying to learn how to process information. And so that's why when too much is coming at me, I kind of blank out. And when I'm around a lot of people, I start bugging out. For example, I went to Target yesterday. Now, I can't travel without putting on my sunglasses and putting a hat on. And so I'm walking into Target, and I purposely went at 11 a.m. because I knew people would be at work. Some kids would be at school, so there wouldn't be that many people. And I was correct. But then it started getting packed. Well, not packed. To me, it was packed. But more people started coming in the area I was shopping at, and I started panicking. Not to the point where I was going to start screaming and run away crying, but I started to feel agitated. I told my wife, I'm like, babe, if you need anything else, text me right now because I am going online and I'm going to go pay for my shit. So before I do that, tell me right now what you need because I am not going back. And she didn't even answer me. Like I gave her like maybe 5 seconds to answer, and then I went right to the automatic or self checkout line. And then luckily she texted me, no, I don't need nothing. Because had she texted me, yeah, we need blah, 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 I would have been like, sorry, babe, I'm out of here. And so that's the point where I'm at. Like I haven't taken a train since October, I think. Like I'm wondering how I would react on the train. And I got a feeling like my driving is going to be like I've had so many plans the last few days because it's been pretty nice. And I just wanted to go, like, for example, to Manhattan, take some pictures of the city. I don't know if I want to take the train right now because I've been dizzy. Like yesterday after I got home from Target, I started talking to my wife. I'm looking at something and then I spun too quickly and that was it. The rest of the day I was out. Like I don't mean like I fell asleep, but out of the action or like benched for the rest of the game. because I was out of commission. Like, I was so out of it physically, mentally. And today I feel like that, but I was like, I need to record something. Maybe if I just start yapping, something will come out that might sound like a full episode. So this is the result of that. And actually, we wanted to record last week, but because we stood in Massachusetts for an extra day, we couldn't record. And as I explained earlier, so much has gone on that mentally I'm like in a fog. I guess that's the best way I could put it. Like, I'm in a fog and I'm just trying to walk my way out of it. And I'm starting to realize that there are moments randomly that occur where I'm feeling like this, and it just takes a little bit to get out of it. So I'm working on it. I'm trying. And now that I have time, it pisses me off because I could be creating content and working on my YouTube channel, building up the brand, because I have the time. And even though I have the time, I don't have the capacity to do what I want. So I'm hoping that I get there. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. As always, I appreciate you guys and gals for listening and supporting the Postgame Report. I'm JVB. Talk to you later.